Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode. What is it? Is it
Don't
like
even try to remember the episode
I
names.
yeah, I honestly don't. I honestly lost count at this point because I've just been remembering them all by whatever
24,
movie we could get.
maybe?
I don't know. So I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, episode 24. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
Probably. Who
Uh,
Yeah,
knows?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm Jules from the channel The Worst Man. This is Far Off Films.
And
Who else is here?
I'm a single man, aka Timmy from Tim Jong Un Productions. Yeah. So
And I am, um, I don't know.
Asteroid.
I am the girl. I am Maya Hawk from Asteroid City.
you are the alien from Asteroid City. You
I thought-
are. Oh,
What? I thought you
I don't-
weren't gonna spoil shit to me. What the fuck?
I mean, that was in the trailer. There's nothing I can do about that.
In
You
the
know.
trailer, they said.
Yeah, but
like-
Okay.
Yeah. It's not spoiling if it's in the trailer. They just they reveal it in the movie. Like, what am I supposed to do about it? You know. So they reveal it in the trailer. So, but anyway, we'll get there when we get there. So, how I don't know how are you all? How are you doing? I'm tired. I'm exhausted as shit.
Splendid.
Yeah.
I'm so
fine.
splendid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I didn't announce it in the last episode, but I went to Tribeca last week.
Oh yeah.
At the
was
time
it?
of this recording, I went to Tribeca last week, and yeah, it was fun. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna make a review soon about all the films I saw at Tribeca, but the experience was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of cool people. There, I mostly went to press screenings.
Who was the coolest person you met?
Who is the coolest cat in town? There is this one guy. I'm sure he'll never listen to this podcast. So it's fine. He was like he was the editor, I think, of The Independent, I believe, and we just had a really nice conversation about kind of like how he got into like film criticism and like kind of his advice on like me trying to like make my mark, things like that, and just also like kind of what his like approach to like film critique is, how he mostly just likes talking about positive films. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant he only likes talking about particular films because those films he can like speak the most positively and like be the most supportive about and stuff like that. And he has a lot of experience on his belt. He went to a lot of festivals and he told me his experience, and we also talked about kind of what our favorites and our least favorites were at the festival. So yeah, he was a really cool guy, and
Okay.
a lot of sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
You meet Pam Grier.
That is a kind of an exaggeration. I didn't meet Pam Grier, but I was in the same area as Pam Grier. We were in the same room together. Because
Oh.
yeah, because
Wow.
because I thought it would be rude if I just walked up to her and said, "Hey, can I take your picture?" or something like that. Because I don't usually know how shit like that works. I don't really encounter a celebrity every day in my life, so I don't really know what like the proper etiquette is.
You live in America, though.
Yeah, that's true. I could just be an asshole and just be like, "Yo, you want to take an ussy?" or something like that. I don't know. I've been watching Ted Lasso recently, so that word has been latched onto my vocabulary.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Pam Grier, she had like a movie called Cinnamon, which was supposed to be like kind of like a black exploitation like horror film type thing. I didn't get a chance to see it because it was conflicting with like several things that I did want to see. But who knows? I think I still have access to the Tribeca home media outlets, and I think it might be on there. I don't know. I might get a chance to see it, but who knows? My schedule has been busy, but I know she was in a film that I looked good. I definitely wanted to see it, but oh well. But if I'm being honest, most of the films were either mid or they kind of sucked. And
Oh dear.
Wow.
yeah, I mean, you can if you've been following my letterbox account, I've been just like constantly updating it with all the shit that I've seen. And Luca, I remember you said a funny thing where it's like, I bet $10 that Timmy doesn't give anything higher than like a 6 or something like that, or something like that. And I I think I only gave like 2 films there a 7, and then everything else was, yeah, either a
Yeah,
6 or below. Yeah. So um which the 2 things were just more just like, oh, this didn't suck, I guess. Like, this was better than I was expecting, sort of thing. That was just my attitude at that point. So the 2 things that I thought were pretty exceptional, the first was a film called Chasing Amy. It's a documentary about like the making of Kevin Smith's Chasing Amy, which I did not like whatsoever. I thought it was, yeah, I thought it was just at the best way I can say it is that it's a very tasteless, dated film. But I thought the documentary about the film was more interesting than the actual movie itself. Like, the guy was like very outspoken about, his experience with the film, about how it like inspired him both creatively, but also like inspired him to just be comfortable who he is, because at the time he came out as queer, and then like he at some point in the film he like shared his like transition story or whatever, and how like Chasing Amy like kind of coincided with that and stuff like that, and how he got to meet Kevin Smith and like the actors on Chasing Amy and all this other stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was like kind of interesting, and I was super into it. All the parts that were just boring were all the parts that had anything to do with the making of the movie, because I don't care
The
about the
actual
movie.
movie.
Yeah, the actual movie, because I don't care about the actual movie whatsoever. But all the other stuff, like the film's directed by Sav Rogers, and he kind of explained how like the movie like means a lot to him, like how he was trying to find his voice both as a person but also as like a soon to be, I mean, he is a director, so like as a director as well, and he has all these conversations with like Kevin Smith and Joey Lauren Adams, who plays the main girl in Chasing Amy. So I thought things like that were really interesting, and I was super involved. But yeah, like you said, Jules, just all the shit related to the actual movie, I just like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. So I saw that, and then I saw another film called A Fire, directed by, I keep forgetting his name. Christian Petzold, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's the same guy who directed Undine and Phoenix, which I've never seen, but apparently they're pretty good. They're on my watch list now of things to see. But yeah, I thought the film, that was also a pretty good film. I liked it's funny, the one of the actresses in that film showed up for a quick Q&A session, and I got to ask the last question, and I thought that was pretty fun. I should have like recorded it or
Oh,
something,
nice.
but yeah, I didn't.
What
Nice.
did you
What'd you
ask
ask?
them?
I just asked her about kind of how the like how closely they had to stick with the dialogue, because a lot of the film felt very natural and very like quick, and like, just like bam bam bam, like they could just like effortlessly deliver dialogue. And I just asked, like, did you guys mostly stick to a script, or did you guys like improvise at certain points? And yeah, she explained how like the director is very amenable to things like that, where it's like if she doesn't believe that like her character would say shit like this, she would say, hey, can I say this, or can we just do this instead? The director is like, yeah, cool beans, whatever, let's go for it. Because apparently the director only takes like at a maximum 2 to 3 takes. He's like, it's like the Clint
Ah.
Eastwood approach. It's where it's like he just does
Clint Eastwood.
yeah, because Clint Eastwood only does like what, like 1 to 2 takes or some shit like that. Like,
One take and just says go instead of action.
yeah, so yeah, he's like, go, do it, do good, and then that's it. That must be why his recent films fucking suck, because he was like, instead, no one just took the time to say, hey, that kind of stuck, that kind of stunk, can we do another take? And be like, no, fuck you, like, we're moving on. Like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, enough about Clint Eastwood. Yeah, like, I thought the film was pretty good. It wasn't like amazing or anything. There were bits about it where it's like, I've seen this better in other films, but overall, like, for what it's achieving, it's pretty good. I thought some parts about it I thought were just bullshit. I was like, come on, really? Like, but overall it was like a fun experience. It's like a lower 7. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I gave it like a 6 or something in rewatch, but like it was like fun for what it was. I quite enjoyed it. And then everything else was just kind of like either some of them I gave like a 6, but it was also like, but I was also kind of into it. So I saw this Chinese animated film called Deep Sea. It was the last film I saw on like in theaters, like at the festival, and I really, really fucking hated it for like the first like 30 minutes. I thought it was the most cringe shit imaginable. And it was also just like a shitty ripoff of Spirited Away, so that didn't help either. But then like the last like 30 minutes made me go, wow, like I was not expecting this, and I think I need to rewatch this because it's like, wow, I was not expecting the last 30 minutes, and it like made me think about like, was I being too harsh on like the first like act? I don't know. So I gave that a 6, and yeah, there was this like neo-western film called Blood for Dust. It has Kit Harington in it, and his accent was so stupid. He was trying to go for like
Oh
yeah,
god.
he was trying to go for like a cowboy, like oh, like I'm a cowboy, you know, like shit like that. But it just came off so weird. I got used to it at a certain point, but it was like genuinely like laughable for the first like 20 minutes. But then it didn't get as bad as that, and it was like a fine western, you know, like it wasn't the most exceptional thing in the world, but it was like entertaining. Like I had fun. So, and then everything else was just either boring or bad. Like I barely remembered like half the things that happened and half the things I saw. So, but yeah, I don't. Sorry, that's a lot of me talking. But yeah, do you guys have any more questions about Tribeca or things like that, or
Not
I was
much.
gonna ask who the most famous person you met was, but you kind of already answered that.
Yeah, Pam Grier. Yeah, that was probably the most famous person I saw because I didn't get a chance to go to um, like, uh, what are they called? The when they show up on the red carpet and take pictures and stuff. What's
Press
that called?
screening or
Red
press?
carpet.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was red carpet. Yeah, because I know like a bunch of celebrities of movies that I saw like showed up to take pictures and give interviews and stuff. Like there was a film called Eric LaRue that I saw, the Michael Shannon's directorial debut. I know Judy Greer and
Was he there?
I don't think so. I think he was at the Flash premiere instead.
Bruh.
He's in the Criterion Closet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, which was weird. Yeah, I know Alexander Skarsgård was also there. I didn't see Alexander Skarsgård or Judy Greer, so I don't remember. I don't know if they were how long they were there or something. I didn't get a chance to do any like actual interviews. I only got a chance to like just randomly encounter these types of celebrities, and it wasn't even on purpose. I didn't like go out of my way to seek these people out. They just happened to be in the same area as I was in, and in
Yeah.
places you at least expect. Like my first day of the festival, they were like presenting a lot of games there. You know, because like they also premiere games as well as like movies, and the games were a lot of fun. Just like clearly, just like oh, you know, like people from different countries, you know, with probably not as much money as like a AAA studio, just like making something that they're passionate about. There was this game
Nice.
from, I think it was a South American country. I don't remember, but it was like a black and white sort of like, you know, the characters were like looked like were just like drawn on paper and stuff like that. And it was about like soccer and how they use that to grow up. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a lot of fun. And
Sounds good.
yeah, it was
That
in
sounds
that
really cool.
yeah, it was in that building that I ran into Pam Grier. But again, I didn't want to like be an asshole. I didn't want to like do anything about it, you know. But it was just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Pam Grier just
Fair
like,
enough.
yeah, Jackie Brown was in the building, yeah, essentially. So yeah. Other
Awesome.
than that, yeah, I didn't really encounter any other celebrity, but I wasn't like actively seeking that out anyway. So it's like, you know, you pay what you
Yeah.
get. So, but
True.
yeah.
True, true, true.
So, yeah, if there's one thing I learned from this experience, it would be I definitely want to do this again. It's just a matter of will I get invited back? Because I pretty much like I write for an independent news organization, like reviews and stuff, and I'm pretty sure I take a shit on like most of the things I saw there. So it's like, am I ever gonna get invited back? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Even I a bit was like, damn, Timmy's really not liking anything. Like, what was even the point?
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I just get the impression like, is there anything good at this festival?
for
Like all this shit seems to be ass.
for a brief moment at my Tribeca experience, and this was like back to back, like I think 3 in a row, where it's like, wow, everything that I saw, if the best that I can say was mid, then holy fuck, this has like been a waste of time, kind of. But
yeah, it really seemed that way. Like, damn.
But apparently there were like some good movies that I just wasn't aware of. Like apparently there was a film called Cypher, I think it was called, that won like best narrative feature at Tribeca, and I was like, I've never even heard of this. Like you were telling me there were good movies and that were playing, and I just wasn't aware of it. Like, and
yeah,
there were some things going on that I genuinely did want to see, but I just couldn't see them either because I didn't have time or because they were playing way too late and none of my friends wanted to see it. So how my schedule went is that, okay, I'll be watching movies from 9 to 5, but then afterwards, like, unless I can convince one of my friends to see it, there's just like, I'm not going to see any more movies. So there was a bunch of schlocky horror films that I wanted to check out, but I just did not have the time because they were playing like essentially they had like midnight screenings and stuff like that, but none of my friends that I was visiting like horror movies, so it's like I can't really so I couldn't really convince them to watch a horror film with me, and some looked fun. There was a film called Suitable Flesh, I think, something like that. It stars Heather Graham, and it's directed by the guy who directed Mayhem. It's a horror film with like Steven Yeun, I think it was called. And that was a lot of fun. I remember enjoying it when I saw it. And apparently it was written by the guy who wrote Reanimator, which I've never seen, but apparently it's also really good. So I wanted to see it, but I just didn't have the chance to see it. There was a documentary that I was really, really excited to see, but it's timing and like schedule conflicts. It was a film called Enter the Clones of Bruce, and it was a documentary about like basically Bruce Lee clones and like Bruceploitation stars that like popped off after like Bruce Lee's death, and how they essentially were writing off his name until Jackie Chan just kind of came about and ruined everything. And I'm super into that era because I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. Bruce Lee's like kind of a hero of mine. So I was really looking forward to that. Just plenty of other stuff that I just wanted to see but I just didn't have the chance to see, which is why like I think my main lesson that I got out of this, which is, okay, I need to be more picky and more selective with what I watch, because I just had the mindset of, I'll just watch a bunch of stuff and I'll watch as many movies as I can, and I'm sure I'll get like a good experience out of it. But I did that, and most of the movies sucked. So, I think next time, if I ever have this opportunity again, I'm going to be more selective and more picky with what I go see. That's just the truth. That's just what I have to do, because I can't waste my time on shit that I'm barely going to remember. Like there were like the worst film I saw was this movie starring Nick Jonas, and it was directed by Jason Schwartzman's brother, Robert Schwartzman. And holy fucking Christ, I hated every second of it. I thought this was legitimately awful. And like 20 minutes after I left the theater, I forgot like half the film. I was like, I don't even remember what I saw. So
when I went to a film festival last year, I was very picky of what I went to go watch, and some of it was just blind.
That's how I'm going to be at the festival I'm going to.
Yeah, like I was like, some of it was blind watches, and then it was like stuff that I ended up really liking. So yeah, you kind of just have to go with like vibes and just like check out like I know it sounds cringe, but like check out like averages on like external websites and seeing if other people are liking it and stuff like that,
You see, but
'cause
like
that kind of stuff really helps.
see, but like I can't
Um,
even like trust things like that because I was like after I saw some of these films, I went on Letterboxd just to see what like the consensus was, and it always seems like I'm in the minority. Like the Nick Jonas movie, like had a lot of positive reviews for some reason, and I was like, I don't know what you people see in this. This was awful. Like like so.
damn.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah, and to be fair, there was also like not a lot that I was like familiar with. Like, there wasn't like any because like what would have attracted me
Mm.
was just like, oh, like if it was like from a director that I really like, then I'll go see them.
Yeah,
But there wasn't a
yeah.
lot of that, so it's like it was weirdly a lot of like f- like s- like actors doing their directorial debut. So I mentioned Michael Shannon.
Mm.
I mentioned there was a film called First Time Female Director, directed by Chelsea Peretti, I think her name is. She played Gina in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Um
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, and it was funny, I guess. Like it was kind of amusing at times, but yeah, that was also just not a great film. It it was shot like it was an episode of The Office or Parks and Rec or some shit, but it wasn't like self-aware about the fact that it was shot like that. So it just came as like really amateurish, like fucking teenagers made it basically. Like, and I was just so annoyed by that. So, yeah, but anyway, I talk too much about Tribeca.
Well,
Yeah, so
the film is called First Time, and I guess it can kind of tie into like your first time
yeah, but there
shooting
was no
like
like,
a movie,
but they
like
never
very
made that kind of
grounded.
connection. Like if it was like if the film was trying to be like a mockumentary or something, like it was like a Nathan Fielder The Rehearsal type thing. Where she was like, oh, I'm gonna be a first time female director, but I'm also gonna be a first time like documentary female director. So it's like a director on direct, like a director Inception and something.
Mm.
If it was something like that, then I would be super into it. But like they never made that connection whatsoever. They never say they were going to do things like that. So it just comes across just really amateurish, So and at points like
Yeah.
it just became like another one of those like comedies where like a lot of the jokes is just, oh, it features a famous person, it features a celebrity. Like it's just another one of those where it's like how like in The Disaster Artist, a lot of the jokes were just like, lol, this guy's played by Bryan Cranston and this one is played by this famous person. It's like, fucking who gives a shit? Like, Jesus. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time I'll be talking about a film festival because I'm going to one soon
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
it's a documentary film festival, right?
Yeah, it's a
Nice.
documentary film festival, so
So yeah, you can ramble next episode instead of
yeah,
me.
that'll be
So,
my rambling
yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So
when is the thing you're going to, Jules?
August. So
August. Okay.
August.
pretty
Okay.
much like a month or so from now.
Okay. So yeah, you can ramble then in August
will.
then. Yeah. So
I'm hoping
yeah.
I get to see the new Jonathan Glazer film the most.
Wait, which film festival
get
is
to
this
see
again?
that.
The Melbourne Festival?
Melbourne International Film Festival.
Okay, you lucky motherfucker. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Very
like a big
prestigious.
one. That's like way bigger than the stuff me and Timmy are going
Yeah.
to. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you've got quite a slate.
Yeah.
This is how I win. This is how I win for
This
Triangle
is how
of
I
Sadness.
win.
Yeah. This is how I win. Yeah. So
This is how I win, Adam Sandler.
yeah. So yeah, apparently Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese were considering premiering Killers of the Flower Moon at Tribeca, which like would have been great because that would have been like a great film I saw there, but whatever. Because apparently Robert De Niro was like a founder, one of the co-founders of Tribeca. That because that explains why like before the movie starts they play these stupid annoying fucking ads about like, oh, aren't movies great? Like artists, things like that. And one of them is this fucking
like a montage.
not a montage, just more like ads about like, oh, we're artists and we're awesome. And you know, like they'd probably do good stuff, but it's just the way they went about these ads are just like, oh my fucking Christ, you know? And then like every now and then they played this ad where just they get a bunch of random people to do Robert De Niro impressions. Like they just do Robert De Niro impressions and quote Robert De Niro movies, and they're like,
my God.
"I'll always keep your." It's
Jesus
like
Christ.
never rat on your friends. And it's like you never walk out 15 seconds of blah blah blah. Whatever the fuck his quote was.
People doing the "you talking to me" from Taxi Driver.
Oh my god, that was the last like 30 seconds of the ad. They were like, "You talking to me? You talking to me?" Like they got like a bunch of random fucking New Yorkers to just do the Taxi Driver thing, and I was like, "Oh
That's
my
funny.
god, stop!" And you know what the craziest thing is? That whole annoying ass like Robert De Niro impression ad, that was just like an advertisement for something called Robert De Niro Con or something that like they're gonna be hosting in like November. Like yeah, because apparently they're celebrating
That
Robert De
sounds
Niro.
awesome.
Yeah, they have
What the
Robert De
fuck?
Niro Con or something, and I'm like, what the shit?
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, so so you get to see all of Robert De Niro's movies back at Tribeca. Which like
Wild.
wouldn't it be such a bad idea? Because you know, like how many Martin Scorsese movies has Robert De Niro been in? Like a ton. I wouldn't mind seeing all of them, but just like, why did you
Like-
advertise it like
like all
this?
of them.
Yeah, why did you just have a bunch of people do Robert De Niro impressions? This is just absolute cringe. Like Jesus. Oh my god, fucking
Robert De
cringe.
Niro has been in just the craziest amount of bangers,
Yeah,
especially in like the 70s and 80s.
yeah, and he was also
Mm.
in
And
about my father, the most hyped dank movie ever. So yeah, so
All right.
Alright,
Well.
anyway,
we've
enough of
been on
that.
this for a while.
Yeah, I'm done talking
Should
about
we
Tribeca.
even do movie news? I don't know if we'll have time. Is there even anything?
Yeah, there's nothing much that's happened.
Yeah.
Unless you,
all right.
Jules, you wanted me to rant about dumb Zaslav again.
No, please. Let's
No.
not.
Okay, well,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll say
We
that
can't
until
have
that-
another
until that
30-minute
wrapped up.
tangent.
Yeah.
My God.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess the movie news is I went to Tribeca, I guess. Yeah, that was fun. So, yeah,
Yeah.
overall good
Yeah.
experience, but Tribeca, if you're listening, please just ignore 90% of what I said and invite me back, please. So, yeah. So, yeah, but anyway,
So it was like past lives and that shit. Was that just
no, that
separate
was
of
that was
Tribeca?
separate. That was
Okay.
separate of Tribeca.
Okay.
There was literally a day where I just like woke up and looked myself in the mirror.
You couldn't stand watching film
Yeah.
festival movies.
Yeah, I was like,
I have to watch something. Good.
I'm not even exaggerating. I just like I was brushing my teeth and I looked at myself in the mirror and I go, I can't deal with this shit anymore. Like I just can't. I can't
Wow.
watch
You
any
had an
more.
existential crisis.
I truly did. I was like, I can't watch any more bad or mid movies
Maybe
anymore.
it's for the better that they don't invite you back then. Dak.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, but at the same
Yeah, it
time,
kind of seems like it's just kind of like where they throw like kind of like the mid garbage shit that like gets rejected from Cannes or like doesn't perform well at Sundance.
yeah, or even like just New York Film Festival, because New York Film Festival is a bigger deal in New York than Tribeca, I think, right? Or
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
New York Film Festival sounds pretty prestigious.
yeah, because New York Film Festival.
Well, all I can say is that I've heard of New York. I've never heard of Tribeca
Okay.
until you. So yeah, I think it probably is a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
more,
New York Film Festival, they just premiere a lot of like prestigious stuff. Like apparently that's where like Dune got premiered like a couple years ago or something. I don't know. So yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so yeah, that's just what it seemed like, and a lot of critics that I talked to basically confirmed that to me, and I was like, is this where like all the movies that like aren't as high profiled like get submitted to? And they were like, yeah, pretty much, and I was like, oh, okay, so that kind of confirms it. So yeah, I just like said, fuck this, I'm just not gonna see any of the festival movies today. So I just went to go see Past Lives, and which was a good decision because that's honestly my favorite film of this year so far. I really really loved Past Lives. I thought it was awesome. So
Wow. Speaking of favorite movies of the year.
oh, okay, we're just jumping
No,
into.
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. I guess we're jumping into Asteroid City now. I guess, which I also saw independent of Tribeca. It was premiering early, so yeah. Let's I guess talk
I
about it.
haven't.
Yeah, Jules hasn't because
Yeah.
Australia is kind of a cuck like that. So
Yeah, it's just not being premiered there until like when, Jules? Like August or something crazy.
August 31st.
Okay.
So pretty
2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
Whole months.
So we have to wait a whole 2 months before we can get into have a spoiler
Spoiler.
discussion. Yeah. So.
And this is pretty funny to me, honestly, that that Luca has to wait this long.
I have to be
Yeah.
restrained for so long.
It's Luca's
'Cause
favorite
I have
movie
thoughts.
of this year, and she can't talk spoilers about it because
Yeah, I
Jules
can't
is a
just gush
fucking
about
asshole.
it.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So yeah.
There's a
You
silver
think
lining to
this
this whole
you're
thing.
winning by going to see the new Jonathan Glazer, but we've already been waiting for that shit for 10 years. I could wait longer.
Yeah,
but I got
don't mind
Asteroid
waiting a
City
little longer.
first,
Yeah.
So in your face, I still won.
Well,
guys.
I may see the pot effort, so
Wow, damn.
suck on.
Guys, let's relax here. This is just movies we're talking about. No need to make this a dick measuring contest. So,
Well,
yeah. Yeah, well, okay, Luca, if you can, let's try to refrain from spoilers as possible
Yes,
for the
yeah.
sake of Jules. I'm sure you loved it. I'm sure you hated it. I'm sure you
I-
thought it was the worst film of 2023, obviously, so, yeah.
I absolutely fucking adored this movie. I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I cried. I shed a tear to this movie. and
Really?
it feels
Okay.
so good to cry in an Anderson movie again. It feels
I
So
expected the
good.
10 out of 10 on your review, but I was not expecting it to be your favorite film of all time. I mean, like, I know that's like tentative anyway, but it's like, wow, like
it's
this
not
is
my
your
favorite film ever, but it's my favorite of the year, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think like yeah, like I always say, the glory days of Wes Anderson are that 2000s period where he just managed to focus on sorry, I'm gonna I'm gonna derail that for a bit. Like Wes Anderson, it feels like he's divided himself into like specific eras. Like you have the starting off era, which is like Bottle Rocket, Rushmore, where he's finding his footing.
Mhm.
You have the Heart era, where he's like kind of developing his style, but he's still got that heart. It's still very much about the characters. That's like the 2000s era. That's my favorite era. Like Mr. Fox, Darjeeling, Life Aquatic. Those will forever be my top 3.
Is Rushmore
but-
included in that era for you, or sorry, not
I
Rushmore?
think
Royal
Rushmore's-
Tenenbaums. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
so.
I'd say so as well.
Okay, yeah.
Like that one still very much has the heart to it. It's a part of the 2000s. So yeah,
I guess so.
Then you-
yeah. Mhm.
Then you have like the 2010s era, which is kind of like his evolving his style just to the max, like cranking out the spectacle. There's still obviously a lot of heart and grit and like passion in those movies.
But the style takes precedent over pretty much everything else at that point.
I wouldn't say
so.
it takes precedent, but I just feel like it is like the main thing that is being focused on. Like it, like it's like the. I don't want to say it's the focus because because Asteroid City like kind of shows how much compassion that he actually puts into everything. But like,
you can clearly tell, like, at that point, he's just more interested in like the symmetrical look of his films. Because I remember like French Dispatch
guess
and
so.
even like to some extent like Moonrise Kingdom, like kind of felt like more just like kind of style over substance type of thing. At least that's how I felt.
I
so.
think the substance is definitely still there in those films. Like I'm not trying to negate that at all, but like it definitely is the era where like he is just evolving his style, Phil sending it with his style, which again isn't even a problem because I still love a lot of those movies. I love all of his movies. So like again, when I say all this stuff, I don't mean it with any problems. But Asteroid City just managed to feel like the perfect blend of all of these eras.
Really? Okay.
The fact that he's still able to like give me something new with his style and then just go back and throw back on like that heart and stuff I mentioned earlier was phenomenal. I like you think like his style peaks as something like Grand Budapest or Isle of Dogs, but this film just managed to even surpass that in a way. Like the way that he uses long takes in this film with like all the production shit happening in the background and
Yeah.
like actors like just fucking constantly spurring out lines for like 7 minutes on end. It's insane. Like it seems like he would be like this would be like a kind of film that would need to cut so often because of like all the practical elements that they had to like maintain for one shot. But no, they just keep it going, and it's phenomenal. The direction in this film is amazing. I loved all the performances. Everyone is giving it their all. They're all fantastic.
Tom Hanks was
All the side
surprisingly great in the
characters.
film. Like he fit very, very well in a Wes Anderson movie.
Like
Yeah,
even
so
even like Jeffrey Wright and Tilda Swinton have like smaller characters, but they're just amazing in this film. Like
yeah, and
yeah,
Jason
like-
Schwartzman.
Tilda.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman obviously was great. Scarlett Johansson was
killing
also
it.
great. Yeah, so
yeah.
Mhm.
And like I just loved it. I loved every aspect about this film. It's amazing. It's amazing. I think it's definitely my movie of the year right now. I don't know if anything's gonna be able to top it. But yeah, it's just yeah, what did you think?
Well, I mean, you pretty much summed everything up pretty well. I quite loved it as well. I did not like it nearly as much as you. There were like still some like a handful of minor issues I had with the film, which we would have to get into spoilers for me to talk about that. But yeah, overall, this is like another just another slam dunk, another doozy from Wes Anderson. We talked about this before we started recording, but if it means anything to anyone listening, I liked this more than French Dispatch. I liked this more than some of the other Wes Anderson films that I've seen. The film kind of gets. I mean, you kind of mentioned this in your review, Luca, so I'm not spoiling anything, but I'll try to keep it as vague as possible.
Maybe don't.
Okay.
Let's just say that there's more to the film than
just
the premise.
Yeah, space shit.
You.
Like the trailer just like makes it seem like, oh, it's like Wes Anderson's quirky Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Like there's really more to it than just that. There's a lot of stuff. Outside of that I wasn't expecting, because I tried to limit myself in terms of like trailers. Like I only saw like the first trailer of this film, and that's about it. I didn't see any other trailers for this film. And so I wasn't expecting
I don't know
like
if this is a spoiler, but like, sorry if it is.
Well,
but,
hold on. Like, what will you be referring to? Because I don't want like
I just want to say it's a very rewarding film if you're a fan of all the other.
Okay. Yeah.
Then his filmography.
I think that's true.
It's kind of like his most
universe.
Not universe, but it's just like his most like
self-aware
passion-fueled project.
It feels a little self-aware as well. Yeah, like he knows that like I'm sure
he kind of like deconstructs his style and kind of like makes it aware of what his direction is in
kind of
his films.
It's by no means going for the exact same thing, but it kind of reminded me of Adaptation in terms of like an artist's like deconstruction.
I think that's a fucking spoiler. Like holy shit.
Well, no, I'm saying like it is very much like in the exact opposite like way they do it, but like just the core idea of like deconstructing essentially Wes Anderson's own style, like his own like voice as a filmmaker. Like the way they went about it, it kind of reminded me of Adaptation. The complete opposite of how he goes about it. It's not like Wes Anderson.
Yeah, it's not like Adaptation at all. It's not like a fucking Charlie Kaufman movie.
It's not like Robert.
Yeah,
it's
don't
not
get
like
that impression.
It's not like Jason Schwartzman just plays Wes Anderson and then talks about how he jerks off himself or something. It's not anything like that. But like the very basic idea is like that's what kind of reminded me of Adaptation, basically. So without getting into spoilers, obviously, So wow, you're right. This is kind of hard. This is kind of hard to talk about without spoiling. Yeah,
I've kind of been upset how many reviews actually have spoiler stuff in it. Like, don't go read the reviews for this movie if you've watched the movie.
Yeah, go in as blind as possible. Just like
because like people seem to be like just throwing around some words that like about the film that like I think is definitely a spoiler and that I didn't thankfully know going into the film, but when I was reading reviews after, I was like, damn, why is that not marked as a spoiler? Like Because like just the way the movie markets itself, like it's really trying to like
Yeah, just speaking
um
of critics, just this one is not getting a lot of. This one is getting pretty low critical,
Critics are wrong.
reception. Like this wasn't getting. This isn't getting as well
Really?
received as I thought. Like audience score
It's
wise,
not,
like
really? I saw
it was like in the low
there were lots
70s or
of critic
something.
reviews that were great.
I mean, like I was expecting higher, is what I'm saying, because like it's in like the low 70s, like from the critical side, and apparently audience didn't like this either. Apparently,
I can see why audience didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, if you're a Wes
Because
Anderson
because
hater,
they're
you'll
stupid.
fucking hate this movie. Like so much.
yeah.
Like
If this is your
if you're a Wes Anderson lover, then you are going to absolutely adore this flick.
if this
and
is
that's
your
why I
first
adored
Wes
it.
Anderson film, you're gonna get fucked because you won't know what the hell is happening. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, you need to have some like self, or you need to have some grasp of like the type of filmmaker he is before going into this film.
Mhm.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, it's just phenomenal. All aspects of it, especially like his just Anderson's fucking commitment to the practical nature of his films
Yeah.
is amazing. Like holy fuck. The set design in this film, the production design,
It was
the
all great. Yeah.
makeup, costumes, everything just mwah. Perfect.
He's really
yeah.
leveled up his game, in terms of things like that. I mean, he's always had like he's always had a budget with his films, but with this one, it just felt like he really had this like sandbox that he could play around with,
Yeah, literally.
I think he literally did, from what I heard about like the set
Yeah,
that he
I
was
mean,
on.
a literal
Yeah.
sandbox, because it was in the desert and
Yeah.
everything. And yeah,
But, like the giant ass like boulders just fit in the background.
Literally fucking trains and fucking houses and shit, like space
So
stuff.
awesome.
But it's insane.
And
yeah.
going back to your original point, Luca, about like how the film was shot, this is just something I really appreciate about Wes Anderson's approach to shooting. Just like instead of cutting, he instead just chooses to pan to the next person talking
Right?
instead, and I
And it's
really
insane in this film.
yeah, and the way he goes about it in
crazy.
this one, it was like really impressive. I was like, wow, this is like
Like
I'm
in a
kind of in
norm-
awe. Yeah, so
Yeah, like in something like Grand Budapest, it'll be like one person talks, it'll pan over to another person, they'll talk, then there'll be like a cut,
yeah.
to like I
But
don't
in
know,
this
the
one, it's like a group
third
of people are
person, or,
talking.
like,
Yeah, so
this movie,
yeah.
yeah. In this movie, there's like someone talking on stage, fucking pans to the person on their right, pans to the person on the left, pans back to the person in the middle, pans down to the fucking audience, pans fucking back, all in one take. It's like, holy fuck, like,
Yeah.
damn, yeah, insane stuff. Like,
Who would you
yeah,
say is
it's awesome.
Who would you say was your favorite character in the film?
Ooh. Probably okay. Favorite main character? Maybe Jason Schwartzman?
I mean,
Favorite side character? Definitely Tilda Swinton. Definitely, easily.
I mean, you
Cool.
say favorite main character. Wasn't he the only main character? Or
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, kind of. The film is very much about him, but like, favorite like,
because if you're referring to like
like-
Tom Hanks and Scarlett Johansson, I don't consider them main characters.
I
Like,
think they're more main characters than like the smaller roles than other people played.
that's fair.
Like,
okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Let's
so,
say main characters are people that kind of directly tie to
The story.
Jason Schwartzman's character,
yeah,
or
the-
Augie's character.
mhm,
Yeah, because everyone ties to the story in a way.
mhm.
Yeah. Who was your favorite character?
I mean, if we're going by that definition, I honestly really love Tom Hanks in the film. Like,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
cool.
like Tom Hanks is obviously a good actor and everything, but I guess I was just
Yeah.
not expecting to just be kind of impressed by like Tom Hanks. Like, I don't know why I've never thought about this, but I'm glad Wes Anderson gave me
Like,
this
after
idea
you
now.
see him in Pinocchio, you're like, holy fuck, this dude
Yeah.
can actually act.
Yeah, like what the shit, like Tom Hanks like
Yeah.
fit very, very well. It was like it's the same way how like back in the day, like Wes Anderson would get these like super famous big name actors like what's his face, Gene Hackman and like Royal Tenenbaums and all this other stuff. And like
Mhm.
George Clooney and Fantastic Mr. Fox, like these like super big name actors. Like that's what Tom Hanks felt like in this one, but Tom Hanks like just naturally fit as like a Wes Anderson character. Like if
Yeah.
he replaced Bill Murray as his number one bestie, I wouldn't be upset with that. Like, he legitimately like plays like the Bill Murray type character very, very well. So, which apparently Bill Murray's not going to be in any Wes Anderson films anytime soon because apparently he's a bad person. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. So
I think it was literally he just got COVID, so he couldn't
Yeah.
shoot for this film.
no, like I
Yeah.
know that's why he couldn't shoot in this film, but wasn't there another separate thing where like it turns out
I
he's
think
like
there
a
was, but
yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Okay, yeah. So
I also really loved Edward Norton's character.
oh, Edward Norton was great.
Edward Norton's always great.
I love
Yeah.
Adrian Brody was also really great in this as well. I really loved
Yeah.
Adrian Brody.
I
Just
like those two.
basically just all of Wes Anderson's regulars, which pretty much
Yeah.
consist of 90%
yeah.
of the actors in the film, did a great job. Yeah.
Who was
so-
your favorite like character out of the kids? Out of the like the main group of kids?
out of the kids? I really
Yeah.
liked the kid who played Randall Park's not Randall Park. What's his name? Stephen Park? Yeah, Stephen Park's
Stephen Park's
son.
son.
Yeah, I
Yes,
really
he's
loved
so
that
good.
kid.
I loved him.
I'm not
yeah.
gonna spoil any
Same.
quotes he gives, but like he was just all the shit he said was just the funniest thing ever. I was just like
I loved
laughing.
him too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
mhm.
And also the cowboy kid. Oh, he was fantastic. I loved him too.
Oh yeah, the guy played by Rupert Friend. I don't know how to pronounce his last
I
name. So
have no clue.
Yeah.
I think so.
Mhm.
No. The cowboy, like he was good too, but like the kid, you know, the like the boy, yeah,
the guy who plays Liev Schreiber's son. Is that who you're referring to?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I liked him
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, so
yeah, he was awesome.
yeah, lots of like actors that I didn't even know were in the film. Like I didn't know Matt Dillon was in the film until like I saw him on screen. I was like, oh, you're in this? Okay,
I don't
yeah.
know, like Willem Dafoe was in the film, and then you just see him. and
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
didn't
"Oh,
know
fuck,
Willem
eh."
Dafoe was in the
And-
film.
and this just
He's
yeah.
always
proves-
in. He's always in Wes
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yeah,
films,
that's
isn't he,
like-
though?
yeah.
But when you look at all these actors and this fucking stacked cast, you have to be like, okay, they're just doing this for the novelty. Like, no one's being paid for this movie.
Yeah,
Because you see where the budget went. That's in the fucking practical elements and presentation of the film. That's where all the budget had to go. Like, there's no other place it could have gone. There's no ways the budget went for all these actors. Like, they're literally just doing this out of novelty or out of friendship.
or because
like,
they
just-
genuinely like being in Wes Anderson's movies. Like
yeah,
that
that's
must,
what I mean.
That must be
That's what
how
I mean for novelty.
Yeah,
like
that must
they just like the experience.
That
like,
must be how not only he gets this absurdly stacked cast in every single one of
Yeah.
his movies, but like why they just keep showing up, you know? Like
yeah, exactly.
Tilda Swinton, Edward Norton, Willem Dafoe, like Adrian Brody, all these people, they don't need to constantly be in Wes Anderson movies, but they're constantly in his movies because they just must love being in his films. That's all. Because
Yeah.
like you said, like these are not like cheap actors; they're pretty expensive actors. So they all must have like
Yeah.
collectively agreed to take a pay cut so that Wes Anderson can use his money for things that actually matter.
Yeah,
You know, like
let's
set design.
play
you know?
guess the budget.
I thought 25 million, wasn't it?
I have the
It's
budget
25
up.
million, right?
I have the
Yeah.
budget up. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah,
it
I knew
is,
that
yeah.
beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no ways they're paying all those fucking big star actors with 25 mil plus all the budget shit. Like, there's no way. I mean, like practical like sets and
Oh,
shit like that. There's
Yeah,
no way.
I'm pretty sure Tom
Yeah.
Hanks' standard fee is like 25% of this film's budget. So it's like
Yeah, exactly.
they
It's like
must have gotten him for cheap. Yeah. And apparently I read an article about this. I don't remember where I read it, but apparently the way Wes Anderson pitched Tom Hanks to being in the film, he was like, there are no trailers, there are no like special places where you can stay. Everyone has to like sleep and live together like while wearing their costumes or whatever,
Aw.
basically being the characters.
Yeah.
And apparently
'cause
Tom
they
Hanks
made
was
like a little town.
yeah, and
Like, they-
apparently
like,
Tom
the
Hanks
Hell
was
yeah.
super into that. Yeah, so, you know.
I just think it's super funny that Bill Murray couldn't be in this movie, so they tried to make him look as close to Bill Murray as they possibly could.
Well, apparently Bill Murray's character was supposed to be Steve Carell's character, so I don't know how that went about, so
Oh, really?
yeah. I was just like,
With Steve Carell in the film.
Oh, so was Tom Hanks always supposed to be?
apparently, you see, because that was my mistake
Okay.
too. My impression was like Bill Murray was supposed to play Tom Hanks's character. That's why I
Yeah.
like said like, oh, Tom Hanks plays the Bill Murray character very well. But then it turns out it wasn't even
Yeah.
meant for Bill Murray anyway. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm fucked then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's fine.
I was a
guess
bit
that
bummed
makes-
that like, you know, Owen Wilson were in the film. I was hoping Owen Wilson. But whatever. I guess can't win them all. So because you know Owen Wilson and Wes Anderson, like they both made each of theirs careers. You know?
yeah.
So,
This
yeah.
was the first movie since Bottle Rocket that Bill Murray wasn't in. The first Wes Anderson movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in
Wow.
every single movie, like from Bottle Rocket onwards,
Yeah.
except in this one. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
What's the
But yeah.
who?
Awesome movie. I loved
Yeah,
it.
which actor has the second most appearances
10 out
in
of
a
10.
Wes Anderson film? Oh yeah, you can give your rating. Yeah, sorry.
I think
Owen Wilson.
it's
It must be Owen Wilson, right? Or
I think it's Bill Murray, Schwartzman, Brody, and Wilson that are
Okay.
like the main.
the Fantastic
highest.
Four.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, what was your rating again? I didn't hear that. Yeah.
10 out of fucking 10. Love this
Nice.
movie so much.
I knew you'd love it. Yeah. So not quite as high as you, but yeah, I also quite loved this. 8 out of 10. I thought it was great. So
Hell yeah.
mhm.
Okay, I have a list.
Of what? All your
Um,
Wes Anderson movies ranked, or
Oh no, just the most used actors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. So
Okay, so yeah, it's Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman, and Tilda Swinton apparently.
what was Tilda
Okay.
Swinton's first Wes Anderson? Was it Fantastic Mr. Fox or was it Moonrise Kingdom? I don't,
know.
because I didn't think she started out in this
She
game
was
until
in
late.
Moonrise Kingdom,
Yeah.
Isle of Dogs, Grand Budapest Hotel, and French Dispatch, and this one.
Okay, but she wasn't in any before that, right?
No, I
Okay.
think Moonrise was the first one.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Jason Schwartzman has been in pretty much all of his films, right? Except Bottle
Yeah.
Rocket and fuck.
Jason's been in like a lot of them.
He wasn't in I'm pretty sure he wasn't in
Life Aquatic?
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's not in Life.
yeah, he wasn't in
Aquatic.
Life Aquatic. He wasn't in Royal Tenenbaums, and I think he wasn't in French
Yeah.
Dispatch, or was he?
No,
I
he's
don't
in
know.
French Dispatch.
Okay.
He's in French Dispatch.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I remember. Yeah, gotcha. Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, what a
But yeah, he's one of the big regulars.
yeah,
And yeah, he finally gets like another like star
Leading
role,
role,
like main
yeah.
role
Mhm.
since like Darjeeling. And yeah, he works really well with Wes. He just like understands like what to fucking do in the movie.
Yeah, this is pretty much the year of Jason Schwartzman, I guess, right? Because he was in Spider-Verse and he was in this, like Jesus, you know. So
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's got a good
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of, I don't know, years. Fucking Christ, I don't know. Jules
Speaking
finally
of
saw.
old men.
Yeah, Jules
Bo is
finally saw
afraid.
Bo is super duper
Oh, are we
scared.
doing that?
I mean,
Oh,
you know,
damn.
Jules finally saw it. I feel like we might as well, you know, like, you know,
Yeah, I've got a little bit to say on the
might as
movie.
well indulge him a
Okay,
bit. Yeah, I
okay.
haven't rewatched it, but the memory of the film is still
If you
fresh
guys
in my
get to
mind.
talk
Yeah.
all that time about Asteroid City, permit me a little bit of time to talk
Yeah,
about
it's Jules'
Bo is
turn.
afraid.
It's
Okay.
It's jeweling time. Yeah. So. hmm
It's dueling time.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Give us your
Hit the
thoughts.
jewel.
Yeah, hit the jewel. Give us your thoughts, Jules. What did you think about Bo is really, really frightened?
well, at the end I was like, Jules is confused.
Mhm.
Yeah, I liked it. Glad I finally got to see it. I think I did overall enjoy it.
Mhm.
But there was some. I definitely had some problems with it. Like the first, think how it went. It's like the first act when he's kind of like in his apartment that like ends with him getting hit by the food truck. I really liked that bit. That might have been my favorite part of the film. And then when he's in the house and then in the forest, I didn't really kind of like that bit. I thought it was kind of a bit, just kind of
I was falling asleep at
pacing
that point.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and I was just like, okay, I'm checking out a little bit.
mhm.
But then when he got to that arena thing at the end, I was like, oh hell yeah, now it's picking up again. And yeah, it did. It was good at the end and did keep me solidly entertained. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was great as always. Same with the actress who played the mum, and also that the surgeon guy. He was my favorite part of the second
You're
act.
talking about fucking what's his face? Nathan Lane. That was it. You're talking about Nathan Lane?
Yeah,
Okay.
the guy who
Yeah.
kind of looks like Vince Gilligan, but yeah.
The guy who played Timon in
Um,
Lion King. Yeah. So, yeah.
yes, that guy.
hmm
Yeah, I thought he was great. Lots of crazy shit. That scene in the bathtub, that was very
That was
wild.
wild. Yeah. So, fucking Sam Raimi
I was
Spider-Man shit. Yeah. So,
yeah, when that guy was hanging onto the walls, I was like, what the fuck?
mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
peak. That was I think in terms of what Ari Aster was going for in that moment. I think that was peak. It had horror, it had comedy, it had nightmare fuel, things like that. It's yeah, that was the peak of what he was going for, So, yeah, so
Yeah. I was surprised, because I thought it was going to be very, very surrealist, and it kind of was when he was with that kind of theater group, I guess,
the
in the
forest
woods.
part,
But
yeah, that was the
yeah,
part I was referring to in that episode where I was like, "This is."
yeah,
I like in
this is
concept
boring.
that scene, but it was so
In concept, it's good, but
insanely boring. Yeah, so yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised kind of how just how much it strung together, because I was hoping from the trailer, I was like, I really hope this isn't just some string of crazy visuals that cut from one scene to the next with no explanation, but it actually managed to be kind of, I mean, it was still kind of
I mean, it also kind of felt
little
like that
quite over,
anyway. Yeah, so
quite over the top, but it still felt like part of a solid narrative instead of just a bunch of crazy shit for 3 hours and then it ends. Yeah, but I can say I enjoyed myself quite
so
a bit.
now that we
despite
can talk about
checking out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, so now that we can talk
There you
about
go.
spoilers, now, I gotta ask the most important question. The penis monster. How did we think about that?
Fucking wild.
Because that was the most important question going in my mind. I was like, if we talk about this again, I gotta ask about the penis monster. So, which turns out to be Joaquin Phoenix's dad or something. That wasn't really that clear to me, but that was the impression that I got.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I was laughing so hard.
Mhm.
I was like, "This is the best fucking movie. 10 out of 10."
and then the soldier guy that was trying to kill Joaquin Phoenix or whatever.
The veteran, yeah.
Tries to kill the penis monster, but then the penis monster crushes his head or whatever. I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but
Funny.
this is so funny to me.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah. So, mhm.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the movie has a lot of highs and lows. I know I already talked about it, but I feel mostly similar to Jules, where first act cool, middle sloggy, boring. For me, it picks up again when he gets back to his mother's house, and then it lost me
Yeah, I
again
think
by
that's
the
when
end
I
in
thought it
that
picked
big
up.
boat dome coliseum kind of
Mhm.
thing. I was so lost. I was I don't care.
Oh,
I
I
just
like
want the
that bit.
movie to end.
Richard
I was
Kind
not
was
into
so
that bit.
unkind in this film. Can I just say that? I've always wanted to
Yeah,
make that
he
joke.
was.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I
It's an
really
asshole.
I really loved that confrontation between Joaquin Phoenix and his mom, where Joaquin Phoenix's mom just yeah, it's a great scene, but she was just being a manipulative piece of shit. She was just I lost you in the mall, and you just ran away and you just didn't want to see me, and just basically makes him feel bad about himself, and he just starts breaking down crying. And it's it kind of reminded me of Hereditary, if I'm being honest, because Hereditary also had this like theme about like motherhood and how like really shitty parents can like really affect like a person growing up and stuff like that. It reminded me of Hereditary. I thought like that bit was like really, really well done. It was just all the stuff afterwards that was just kind of stupid. So, yeah. So, mhm.
Yeah, I guess like yeah, like what do we even talk about with spoilers? Like it's just it's just mostly the kind of like the same experience, except we can go deeper with
Yeah, I feel like
the
we all kind of
specific
had the
stuff that happened. But like,
same.
yeah,
I just think that like
even
with
though there's like
spoiler,
cool outlooks
Mhm.
to like, there's cool like subtext, I guess, and outlooks to have out the film, but even that like doesn't really change how I feel about it. Like I'm still just very on the fence about it. Like I overall like it. It's a good movie. And I do still kind of want to watch it again, but like
it's a
Yeah, I think I
huge
do too.
commitment. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like a huge
yeah,
commitment.
it's a big
It's
commitment.
so long.
Yeah.
And like
That's
a lot
probably
of
my
it
my
felt
least
very
favorite aspect
sloggy.
about it. It's so long.
It was
Really
even
didn't need to be
longer
that
for me
long.
because I just wanted to leave and then I had to do a Q&A afterwards and I was like, oh. I was like, my experience with the film was just like so tiresome.
Yeah.
Like
Who's doing your Q&A?
the people that hosted the screening for the film.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
watched it
It's like
early.
no one,
I watched it
no one,
early.
no one,
No, it
no
was a
one
full
from the film
full
was there.
theater. No, I don't think so. At least like
Mm.
a full theater with people in their pajamas. Like I just wanted to go to sleep. Like
You should have done that. Yeah, you should have just shown up with your pajamas, being like, "Well, I'll take a nap."
Well,
at some
everyone
point.
had to. You had to wear pajamas to the screening. That
Oh,
was a part of
really?
the thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because
Funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Bo was in okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, so, yeah. So
Everyone
yeah,
in pajamas. Like, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I quite liked the scenes where he's stuck in Nathan Lane and Amy Ryan's house or whatever. Like, I thought the whole like unhinged daughter thing was just kind
I
of
did not
amusing
like
to me.
the
I was
unhinged
kind of
daughter
amused
thing.
by that. I was just like,
It reminded me of the daughter from The Whale, and I was like, "Oof, no,
Yeah,
thanks.
same actually.
I
That-
do not
Like,
like
is she gonna
this."
call him a
I
slur or
never,
something?
Yeah.
I've never thought about it, but like that. But that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought that
liked
was kind of
that.
amusing. Yeah, I was like when she started like drinking paint in front of him. I was like,
I
what
did
the
not like that
shit is
shit.
going
Like, what
on? You
the
know?
fuck?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
so unexpected and gross.
Yeah, I was
I had
like,
to like take a massive drink of water.
yeah, and then like when like Amy Ryan starts screaming at him, it's like, "What have you done? How could you have killed my daughter?" And then he just like jumps through like the glass door. Like I don't
Jumps
know.
through the window and into the forest.
Yeah, that was like kind of funny. Yeah, I was super into all that. I was like, "Oh hell yeah,
I
like
liked
this
the
is great."
beginning of that segment, but like by the end of it, I was just I was lost. Like I feel like a lot of the film loses me in like the kind of, I don't want to say simple, but like the subtext that it has to offer. Because like my outlook of the film is very much like his mother is very controlling and manipulative and has like this control over his life,
Mhm.
whether she even beyond the grave, like he's constantly using stuff like from her production company, like the food he eats, the microwave he has, or not production company, whatever her fucking company was, like
Mhm.
it all has that logo,
Yeah.
even the trailer for this film has like that logo, so it's very much like indirectly like this mother is quite literally controlling Bo's life.
Mhm.
And like
Crazy helicopter parenting.
Yeah.
yeah
Like, if
I
that
like
Asian
that outlook
parenting
of
was
the
bad,
film.
then you're fucked in comparison to this, you know?
Yeah, you
So-
haven't experienced Bo's
Yeah.
childhood. Yeah, and I like the flashback stuff as well, but like, yeah, a lot of it just felt very disjointed. I still, and I feel like I have mostly negative things to say about the film, but I just feel like I find it easier to like say what I didn't like about it more than because I did like it overall. Like I thought it was good. I had a fun
Yeah.
time with it.
It was
but
just so
there is just a
unnecessarily
lot of
long.
stuff that
Yeah.
holds it down
So
for me, at
long.
least.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure, Jules, even though you probably liked this more than either of us, like, you can probably even
Yeah, I
agree. The
think
film
so.
had no reason to be 3 hours long. It could have shaved, like,
No reason to be that
yeah,
long.
like, it could have shaved, like,
Should have been cut
yeah.
down to at least like 4 hours something.
Yeah, like, even 2.5 hours, like, I would be a little amenable to that, but, like, 3 hours, that is just unreasonable. Like, that you cannot justify
Yeah,
a runtime like that.
that's extremely
Yeah.
unreasonable.
So, because there were a lot of parts that they could cut. Like, if you cut the forest part out of the film, Like honestly,
Parasite,
you could
yeah.
easily like automatically you have a better film. Like I don't know, just save that for like the director's cut, and like just leave it up to like the audience,
Oh my
C-
god.
Just make it
Yeah.
like the French plantation scene from Apocalypse Now. Just put it in your
Well, I haven't seen
director's cut.
Apocalypse
You
Now,
don't need
so
to have the
that
like.
means nothing to me. So, um,
Oh well, you may be watching it soon.
I
Don't
want
worry.
to, yeah. So, yeah, because it's like I said before in our last conversation about this. It's like I have nothing against super long movies. Like I really love the director's cut of
Yeah, but they have
Midsummer.
to justify themselves.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like Midsummer at least
And
justified itself with its long runtime. This had no reason to be as long as it was. Like that was just my
yeah,
biggest issue. Yeah. So, um, and like yeah, like some things are fun. Like I said, like the Nathan Lane and Amy Ryan's daughter drinking paint. That was just kind of amusing to me. But yeah, like then you just have all this other shit that's just like I honestly completely forgot that like Joaquin Phoenix had like a twin brother or something like that, even though they kept alluding to that and had like dream sequences where like he had like a twin brother or something like that. Like it was still just like the film is
He
just
did?
so
I didn't even know that.
well
What
no,
the
they had
fuck?
like the dream sequences or whatever where he's in the pool or whatever, but then like
Oh
his
yeah,
mom was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
screaming at
Okay,
another
yeah.
kid,
Sorry.
and she's
Yeah.
like, "Go upstairs, like go up in the attic," or whatever she said, and I completely
Mm.
forgot about that, even though they referenced that like 3 times, um, and like
I kind of thought of that was just like him trying to. I didn't think he had a twin brother. I kind of saw that as like him like his mother like trying to just like
lock him up.
confronting his insecurities and like
No.
telling them and like putting them down because like she tells the kid to go into the attic and then what does he find in the attic is like a penis monster, and that's kind of like a representation of like his insecurities and the fact that he can't like you know he, he can't
You can't
come.
Scaluga poop. Yeah, so
Yeah, like that whole thing was like so weird to me, but I kind of like the scene where that like lady seduces him. Like
yeah,
that
I was not into that at all. I was
Oh,
like, oh
really?
my god,
I
this
like
is so
that.
stupid. I was like,
That
this is
scene
so
was pretty
dumb.
funny.
That was so
Yeah,
stupid. Yeah. So, yeah, I get the point of that, but yeah, just like the way they
yeah.
executed it, I was like, this is so stupid. And then like the whole like her just like being frozen stiff in place, like when they had sex or whatever, like
I
when
like that.
the mom took her away, I was like, I mean, I kind of liked that, but yeah, it was also stupid. Yeah, so but it didn't matter because it led to the confrontation.
It was
scene,
just
which,
very unexpected to me because I thought the movie was gonna end with him dying by having sex. I'm not gonna lie.
that would have been a great
Like,
ending to the film. I wish
and
they
then
ended it
and
there.
then like they
Yeah.
kind of reversed it, and then it was like the women, and I was like, whoa, and then like yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very all over the place. A lot of it works, a lot of it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I also agree, like
Um,
the whole like stadium, like the whole like the
Yeah.
Truman Show type thing, where they were so on the nose about this. They were like Richard Kind's like, this man whose mother dedicated her life to her son is so ungrateful and he should be punished, things like that. And I was like, oh my god, I get it, movie, like come on, just end the film already, So, like
yeah.
yeah. I mean, like it was nice to look at, it was nice spectacle, but at a certain point, the film, like I really liked how insane and bonkers the film was for a good chunk of it, but then like I just did not appreciate how heavy-handed and like very explicit what it's going for, and it's just like, oh my god, I get it, movie. Like and that's the other thing, it's like I wouldn't have even minded the film being this explicit about its themes if it was just like shorter. Like if the film was just shorter, like I would be more okay with this, but like the fact that it's so long and it's stretching these things out, I was like, oh my god, like get over it already, like come on, so
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, so yeah. Jules, did you have any like specific thoughts? Because you seem to like this more than either of
Nah,
us. Yeah, so
I think I did like it more than the rest of you, but yeah, I don't have much more to say. I don't think it's. I think out of the 3 that he's directed, I think this is definitely my least favorite from him.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that I also agree. I don't think this is anyone's favorite out of the 3 he directed. So Yeah, Midsummer
They
direct.
let him do. They didn't have any studio influence, and he just went off and made something completely fucking wild.
I was kind of
even more
surprised.
wilder than
He stole their
Hereditary
money,
and
basically.
Midsummer.
I was
It's
kind
like
of surprised.
A24's most expensive film they've ever produced.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I was gonna say it's like I'm kind of surprised how much money they gave him, especially for a film like this. Like, essentially, just like
They were
what's the
probably
word?
like, "Oh, Hereditary's popular, Midsummer's popular. Like, let's fucking just like let Ari do what he wants to do."
But also, to be
And then
fair,
he,
like
he did this.
those films became popular because A24 marketed them as like normie horror films. That's why like normies went to go see those movies. But normies aren't going to see this. And like,
and the normies didn't like Midsommar.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the normies didn't like Midsummer. But like even like
I love Midsummer. Oh my
yeah,
God.
I think that's my favorite from Ari Aster. The director's cut of
Midsommar.
Midsummer is like amazing. I really love it.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, this one it's like not even like pretentious film bros are divided on this. So it's like, I mean, I guess like, Ari Aster got to make the movie he wanted to make, so like good on him, I guess. But like, yeah, I think like this one kind of needed a little restrictions. Like I think this one needed to be held back a little bit because of like, yeah, just like you could have shaved like 30 minutes off this film and instantly it would be a better movie. But what do I know? Yeah, like I'm surprised they get much money. Like I would understand something like Everything Ever All at Once having this kind of budget, because it's like it's still kind of a normie film. It's still kind of approachable because it's like, like there's all these like crazy themes and elements going on, but like it still has like kung fu action that like normies would really like, but this doesn't even have anything like that, so it's like I'm just kind of shocked, but whatever, what can I do? So yeah. What would you rate this, Jules? Luca and I have already given our ratings for this film, but curious what you gave it. So
I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10, but it's probably more closer to a 6 than an 8.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So yeah, Luca and I both gave this a 6, so we're pretty much in the same camp anyway. So
yeah, maybe I'll like it more if I watch it and I know what I'm going into more,
That's the thing. Like, I want to see this again, but I don't also want to because it's so long. It's like I don't have that time. So, but
well, I know Jasper likes Ari, so I'll watch it with him, and then that second watch will be determined if I ever want to watch it again in my life. Yeah.
So. Yeah, well, speaking of significant others, I guess we're getting into the recommendation now.
We've had some good transitions today, hell yeah.
Yeah, that one was one of my better ones, I'll admit that. So, it was Jules' pick. Take it away. What's the movie?
Yeah. So we watched A Single Man. Actually, I suppose we should start by saying that this is in our theme of gay movies to celebrate Pride Month, so I recommended A Single Man, directed by Tom Ford.
Except I think like only one of these
designer.
episodes is gonna get released in Pride Month.
Yeah, I as of right now I haven't finished it yet, but I'll
gotta
get
grind to
soon.
get that one out before
Yeah.
July.
Yeah. I'll grind that one out soon. Yeah. So
all
don't
right.
worry. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Directed by Tom Ford, who is fashion director of Tom Ford.
He was the
brand.
House of Gucci. He was the House of Gucci.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his directorial debut. It's about a English professor named George Falconer who has recently experienced the loss of his lover, and is preparing
a lover.
His
a lover, gay lover, and is preparing to commit suicide, but then has conversations with this student of his, and also this like South
and
American
just other people
prostitute.
around him.
Yeah.
And the South American prostitute, and then sort of gains a new perspective, if you will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think this film is amazing. I think it's a directorial debuts out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. He self-financed the film Like, oh my god, like I was making a joke about this when I saw it. I was like, Tom Ford seriously just like woke up one morning and said to himself, "You know what? I'm going to make a movie because fuck you, I feel like it." And then he just makes a great movie and I'm like, "What? Like can you just do that?" Like apparently. So, yeah, so
Yeah.
but yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really awesome. So, yeah, like for a first time feature film, like such great like understanding and mastery of directing, cinematography, like color specifically, like the way like colors are either oversaturated or desaturated. Just like for a guy who's never made a movie before, he has a clear understanding of how to make like a well structured, like good looking film. Like this is really really great. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like even like it's like it's like an ambitious first like movie. Like not only does it have all those elements that you just mentioned that are like phenomenally presented for a first time feature, but it's also like kind of a period movie. So there's also like a bunch of research that needs to be like put into the time frame of the movie and costumes and production design. And yeah, it's just a fucking like it's
Definitely knew what he was doing with the costume design.
Yeah, no, because like not just the costume design, just the production value in general. Like you can clearly tell this was directed by someone who has extensive experience in fashion. Because like in terms of like attention to detail, in terms of like not just clothes, but like the way clothes are like prepared and how he like dresses up, and also just like things like cars and TVs and just like buildings and things like that. It's like such great attention to like it makes total sense that Tom Ford is like a fashion guy because like all that attention to detail is like very very clear in the film. Yeah. So
definitely.
And
yeah, especially like you said with
Scene,
the color.
Yeah,
I feel like the color is like
oh my god, the
it's
changes in color saturation.
yeah.
and that was like awesome.
It's definitely
Destroyed me.
it's like the most obvious like I guess element to interpret about this film, but that doesn't make it any less like
Effective.
amazing in how they go by like presenting it. Like
Yeah.
like to just show his range of emotion through what is a high saturated and consists of warmer, like more vibrant colors, and compared to his normal everyday life, that's kind of just like a gray, more dull experience.
Yeah, it's very obvious, but like
yeah.
it's still just like super super effective. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
I would have hated like if they just like if Colin Firth just said like, "Oh my god, that's so good. I feel a little better about like," and I would hate shit like that. Like I love how like they use the
That would be
color.
awful.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be like the Green Book version of this film, you know? Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I love how like even though the color saturation is obvious, it's still a very effective way of like communicating things like that without like having to rely on clunky dialogue. And sometimes it got distracting, like whenever like Nicholas Hoult was on screen, I was like, does Nicholas Hoult have lipstick on, or is this just because of the saturation? Like I couldn't tell like at parts like that. But yeah, overall it was like effectively used. And like I don't know about you guys, I think this is Colin Firth's like best performance. Like I was genuinely shocked, like how great a
Definitely.
performance he was giving. He was amazing in
Fuck
the
the
film.
King's Speech. This is his best performance
I-
ever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the
Yeah,
King's
don't
Speech,
think-
so
Oh,
I have zero point of reference. Yeah,
guys.
so
Mamma Mia does exist, okay? There is some competition,
and
okay?
also we forgot about Kingsman: The Golden
Yeah.
Circle, which also has Julianne Moore, I think. Yeah, so yeah, so
And Rylane.
Yeah, right. Late.
yes, so
I think I'm not even joking when I say Mamma Mia. Like he's fucking amazing in that movie.
oh
But
really?
yeah,
Okay.
this is definitely his
Yeah,
best
I'm
like
never watching that.
dramatic, like full on like artsy kind of performance. Like definitely.
yeah, just like the way that like Colin Firth like communicates himself, you know, because I can imagine just like any other actor just doing like just Oscar bait bullshit, you know, just like doing things like for like you know for like the presentation when they announce the nominees, you know, like I can imagine an actor like screaming all the time. It's like, no, you know, my boyfriend's dead or whatever, you know, things like that, you know. But like he's very subdued and gives a very just sort of like
just the reserved nature of his performance
like
is so
you can tell he's in
amazing.
pain. You can tell like he's just like that he just doesn't want to live anymore through his
Just-
performance and like through like the color saturation
he's just
too. Yeah.
so out of it.
Yeah, but like yeah, and the way Colin Firth just expresses all that, it's just so good. And I loved both like the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes because it's kind of like poetic, you know. It's just like it opens with a dream sequence like
Yeah.
in the snow and he kisses Matthew Good, and then at the end where he has a heart attack and then Matthew Good shows up and kisses him. Like I thought that was really poetic. I thought that was like a nice way to wrap things up.
beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is like a fucking great film opening. I love it. It's like no matter how like great or not the rest of the movie is, like, or could have been, that opening like would have just
So good.
skyrocketed my thoughts no matter what. Like it's phenomenal. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic. Yeah.
Scene where in the classroom, after they're talking about like the novel and stuff, where he just starts like kind of venting about stuff, just so good because he's able to like, you can finally see him like give some proper like, emotion, and that's like the first time where he feels like properly like alive almost in the film. It's like it's so
I
well
love
done.
that talk like about minorities that he gives.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Because you can like
it's just very
yeah, because you
touching.
can tell that
but it's like very real and like intense as well.
because you
but,
can tell that's
yeah.
alluding to himself, you know, because he himself is a minority
Yeah,
because he's gay, but
definitely.
like, you know, he can't bring that out because, you know, of the time period that they're in, you know. So
I personally love kind of like the way the film hints, or not hints, but like kind of makes him feel like he is an outcast, he is a different person to everyone, and that can kind of be like intertwined within his sexuality and being gay and stuff, because there are so many visuals and just aspects about the film that like that allude to this kind of thing. Like he's the only British person in like America, you know? He's like he's the only one wearing a suit while everyone is kind of wearing casual outfits in the film. There's a shot early on in the film when he like first arrives at the school and he's like walking against a crowd of people, like kind of like a visual way at showing that he's different. He stands out from the crowd. Yeah. And I love all these little like hints and nods the film makes towards like his sexuality in that way, and just highlighting that like, yeah, he's different. He's not like everyone
and even
else.
with the people that like are kind of similar to him, because like Julianne Moore is the other like British person, like the way she like even she kind of like makes him feel like an outsider, like so alone, because like there was that line that she said that was like just super condescending, where it's like, why didn't you like be with me, like now that your relationship with Jim is like over, because that was just like a fling or whatever, now you can be with me. And like the way he just like was like, what the fuck, like you can't say shit like that, like that was real, like that was a real relationship. Yeah, and it's like that. What like how is it that my thing isn't real, but your thing with your husband is real? Like was it because I'm like, because it's clearly implying that like she doesn't think that like gay relationships are real, but like they don't have to spell that, they don't have to like say that out loud, you can just infer that based on like the conversation. And I think like that in of itself is also a really powerful like point, because like even with people who are kind of alike to him, he still feels alone, because again, coming back to his sexuality, you know, and like the way he presents himself, you know, like
just a period of like kind of like casualized homophobia as well.
Yeah, because it's also the time period as well, like that's just what happened.
The 1960s.
Yeah,
he had to like be secretive of everything. And I love that like scene in the like in the beginning of the film where like his husband's like cousin calls him and he's just trying to hold back, like, holy fuck, like this is my husband that died, but I can't reveal this information because like people will know about us and who we really were and stuff like that. And he's just trying to like just hold back that information, like just, but that I can't speak, but like you get what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Just to keep in his like, he calls it like play the part of like George, and he's really like just desperately trying to hold it back there.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
even one of the titles of like the songs in the soundtrack, I'm sorry, in the score is Becoming George. Like almost like he's putting up a facade, like he's like pretending to be someone else. And speaking of which, like the music in this film, fucking incredible. Like I love
my
the
God,
music. It just like it perfectly encaptures the tone and the character, like, and just great music as and just in general. Like wow, like I was not expect I actually started listening to the score like after I saw the film because it's that great. I love the music a lot. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Going back to The Color, I love the line when he's like talking to the Spanish person.
Yeah, the Spanish
Yeah.
male prostitute. Yeah.
Spanish prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love when like they like both look at the sky and he's like, oh, this is the first time I've seen the sky this way, and that can kind of be tied to like how the color is used in the film. Like this is the first time in like ages where he like kind of sees the sky and not like this dull, like desaturated grayness, but like this vibrant pink, like actual thing. And like, yeah, it's just amazing stuff.
Yeah, that
like,
brief scene was a
And then
better.
also that it comes from like the smog that's like kind of hangs over
Yeah.
Los Angeles, which is kind of meaningful of his own relationship.
Yeah.
And it's almost newfound hope in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
This good thing, that there's a
Yeah.
silver lining to this horrible thing that's happened.
Yeah, that brief scene with him and the Spanish prostitute, that was a better My Private Idaho than fucking the actual My Own Private Idaho. So, yeah.
And even the scene where he like goes and pets the dog, you could just tell like how much pain he's like reserving in his fucking performance. He's like,
Oh my God.
it's like, oh my goodness, like yeah.
Just like it's just a lot of random encounters like that. You would think you're just like, what's the point of this? But like really just adds to his like
Yeah.
character, you know, like when he encounters like the little girl at the bank or whatever, like that was like, you know, like it you know, it like she brightened up his mood a little bit. That's why, you know, she was like had a lot of oversaturated colors, but then like when she leaves the scene, you know, it goes back to being desaturated. You know, it's like little bits like that, like
Yeah.
Like Schindler's List.
yeah, like
The girl in the red dress.
It's like Schindler's List.
Yeah, but like, yeah, this film is very much just like a day in the life of this dude, but like it's like saying like, yeah, even though this guy's life is pretty fucking shit, this is how much he's lost. There's still these glimpses of joy to be found within each and every day.
In the smallest of things.
Yeah, in the smallest of things. Yeah, exactly right. You said that perfectly. And like, yeah, I just
Because he
I
sort
love
of at the start of the day, it's like, I'm gonna set my affairs in order, and today will be different, because he wants to exactly what he does, appreciate small things before he leaves this world, but then he appreciates those so much that he decides that he wants to stay.
Yeah, and I really loved
Have that perspective.
Yeah, and I really loved how Nicholas Holt's character is like tied into all this, because there was a bit of dialogue.
He's great as well.
Yeah, Nicholas Holt's great. Yeah, there was that bit of dialogue in the Julianne Moore scene where Colin Firth is like, "Oh, stop being sad. You have friends. You have friends who support you and stuff like that." And it kind of ties back because like Colin Firth doesn't really have a lot of friends. He doesn't really have a lot of like people to support him, and the people who do are kind of, you know, casually homophobic. But then you have someone like Nicholas Hoult who like genuinely cares about him and who genuinely is interested in the things that he has to say about like minorities and fear and all this other stuff. And so when they go out for a swim together, that's probably the first time in a long while where he's felt like good about himself, where he's felt passionate about himself. And I'm so glad they didn't do a stupid cliche where it's like, oh, Nicholas Hoult is like this new spark in his life and they pursue a relationship or whatever. Like, I'm so glad they didn't do shit like that, because that would have been so cliched and just like predictable. Like, I'm so glad that like it didn't go that route. It was more just like Nicholas Hoult was like the spark that Colin Firth needed, his inspiration to like continue living and stuff. But that's what makes the last like 5 minutes tragic, because like he chose to live again. He chose not to shoot himself. But that didn't matter, because, you know, that was when he had the heart attack, and that's when he fucking died. So, you know, it's like, you know, it's like,
they set that up from the beginning of the film. It doesn't feel like,
out of
what,
nowhere.
this is just coming out of nowhere now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did set that up in the beginning. That's a good point. Yeah, so mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, so
The one thing that confuses me about this movie is like just his house. Like,
Yeah,
because
his massive house.
yeah,
yeah.
like in the beginning, you kind of get like a pan out shot of like his house, and it looks like it's pretty secluded, like it's like on a cliff or something. But then he just like is also living in a regular neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like I guess you could also tie that into
continuity
the
error.
themes of like, oh, he is secluded, like he feels different from everyone else.
True,
But like
true.
like the geography of it just confuses me so much. It's like, huh? Like how is this house on this neighborhood? Like it's so
I don't
strange. But
know. Yeah.
like again, like I like to choose to I like to choose the fact that like it kind of ties into how he feels like secluded and alone and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think that's more what it's trying to say. But yeah, it's just a funny thing about the film that I noticed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. If I had any like issues with the film, they were very minor. Like I don't know about you guys, but I Julianne Moore didn't like suck in the film. She wasn't like bad, but like I wasn't like entirely convinced by her performance. I did not like her British accent whatsoever. I just thought it was I didn't actually realize she was British in like 30 minutes into the film. I was like, "Oh, you're British." I didn't know that. Okay, you didn't make that very clear to me, but like she still gave like a decent performance and everything, but I was just sitting there going like, why didn't you just get an actual British person? I was just kind of confused, but whatever. Like she still served her purpose. She still gave a good performance,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was not entirely convinced by Julianne Moore's performance, but whatever. So, mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think she does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
You did a
Like,
great job, but like, I think that character is like a little bit flawed compared to
yeah.
the rest of the movie. Like, it doesn't quite slot in, I guess, the way
She
rest
is
of the
like
characters
just a
do.
smidge like annoying. And like I
Yeah.
guess that like
Yeah.
that is a part of her character. Like
Yeah, of course,
kind of the
she's meant to
point,
be
yeah.
annoying. She's kind of like just
yeah,
like a
yeah.
But
But
still, just
like
the way they
self-pitying person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just still the way they kind of like jimmied her into the story was like this could have like fit in a bit more smoothly, a little bit more naturally, but whatever. What do I know? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just that it's just like when everything is just so great, and especially comparing to Colin Firth, when Colin Firth is giving such an amazing performance, it's it's hard to like put that in comparison, but you just kind of have
It's hard to stand up to that.
But like sometimes it worked out. Like Nicholas Hoult held his own against Colin Firth. I thought Nicholas Hoult did a great
Yeah, he was
job.
great.
Yeah. So like I don't know what the excuse was for Julianne Moore, but
She
I don't
fucking
know.
reminds me of like the main character in fucking High School Musical in this fucking movie.
Zac
Like just the
Efron?
way he looks. Yeah. He just looks like a fucking like preppy, like fucking like anime boy kind of. It's
I'm
kind
sure
of
that's what they
funny.
were going for. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
know. It's a bit distracting for me. Just a smidge. But yeah.
If he was an anime boy, I think the only thing would have been available was like Speed Racer or something, right? I don't know. Which we will talk
Yeah.
about at some point.
Oh no.
Dread that day. I guess.
That's when I'm leaving. I told you that's when I'm done.
So
That's
Yeah.
the day I quit.
again, you guys claim you hate this film more than me, but you guys have higher ratings for it than I do. So
I don't claim I hate it more than you. I just don't want to watch it again.
Okay.
I don't really. Yeah, I'm not particularly.
Yeah, like if
fond
you
of
hate
the
it more
idea of
than us,
watching
then
it
why do
again.
you want to recommend it?
Because I just want to hear a perspective of someone that actually likes it, because I want to bring on a guest at that point who actually likes the movie, so I can hear a
okay.
different. Because that's the thing. It's
okay.
like, actually, never mind. We'll save that discussion for another time. But yeah, back to the Simple Man. Yeah,
A
yeah, I
simple
just-
man.
sorry, a single man. I kept
Sing-
confusing.
a single man.
I kept confusing this with like a serious man and a simple man or something, like a simple plan. That was
Same.
what a simple plan, a
Both came out in
serious man, and a single
2009.
man. Yeah, just like
That's
yeah,
funny.
that did come out on the same time. Yeah, so I kept confusing that with like three other things. It's just like a S word and then like another word at the end. I just got so
Yeah.
confused. So yeah, I really liked how the beginning of the scene where like he's just like getting ready, he's doing his morning routine or whatever. That went on a little more than longer than I was expecting. Yeah, but it was like great because it's like
it was good.
yeah, because like we talked about before, he was trying to build a character. He's trying to build a facade, and like that, you can tell like the stress and weight that's like on his shoulders when he does that and things like that. And the best parts of his day when he's just like encountering like random people, like the Spanish prostitute and just like the people at the bank and things like that. Like it was a bit weird at first. I was kind of weirded out during one scene where he talks to like the secretary or something, and he was like, "You smell good. You smell very, very beautiful," or something like that. And I was like, "What? Like, what's going on?" But then, like, that comes back again, and I was like, "Oh, okay. So this is just like a him thing where it's like smell is kind of like one of those things where like it gives him like it brings that color in his life because like he also smelled the dog or whatever that also like over like really saturated the color in the background as well. And I was like, oh, like so smell is like a big part of like kind of him and his personality and stuff like that. It was still kind of weird, but I was like, I mean, it's his thing, like it makes sense, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, overall
good movie.
Great movie. Yeah, I was not I didn't know what to expect because I had seen Nocturnal Animals, his second film, Tom Ford's, a long time ago. I saw it when it came out, and
Nocturnal Animals is actually better, I think.
Really, I haven't seen it since then, so like it's kind of fuzzy in my mind. But like, yeah, you made me want to rewatch Nocturnal Animals now because I really, really enjoyed this. I love this a lot more than I was expecting. So yeah, yeah, because on paper, like this could have been just like another generic Oscar bait movie, like some period piece about a gay man, like that sounds like an AI generated like Oscar bait movie. But they pull it off very well, and Tom Ford, he's a great director. He can really like he has a really he certainly has a style. He certainly has like a presence when it comes to like the way scenes are shot and stuff like that. And it's like you fucking asshole. Like you're just so good at everything. Why are you so good at everything, man? I'm just so I'm so pissed off. So
no skill issues in this man.
Yeah, so it's like he like maxed out on all his points on everything. It's like that guy who's just good at everything in like RPGs or D&D. It's like, why are you so good at everything? So yeah, so
yeah.
Anything more you guys want to say? I feel like we've said everything. So
yeah, I don't really mind.
Like
I've talked about most of my things. Yeah.
So
it's really, really, really great film.
Yeah, amazing
really
film.
Great.
And the film didn't get any Oscar nominations, right? I know Colin Firth got an acting nom, but that's it, right? Like, what the shit? This is so good.
Both got snubbed.
Yeah, so it's like a Diamond Bell and the Butterfly situation where like it got snubbed for no reason. So, yeah, but 8 out of 10. Really loved it. Thought it was awesome. So.
Yep, I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. I really, really, really love this film.
Yeah, I love it too. I love it a lot too. I'm also at an 8, but like kind of talking and having this conversation maybe makes me want to put it up because I do really love it. But I'll see how I'm feeling.
And do it, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yeah, don't let us stop you. So yeah,
but,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, just awesome movie. I love it.
Yeah, great. So
and yeah.
Nice.
And now I kind of wish you double featured this with Nocturnal Animals because now I just needed an excuse to rewatch Nocturnal Animals now. Like Jesus. So I know that's not.
I haven't even watched that one.
Yeah, I know I can, but it's just yeah. I guess nothing's stopping me. So but yeah. So anyway, want to get into questions?
Dude has a fucking longer film break period than Jonathan Glazer.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like directing's not even his full-time job. Like Jonathan Glazer's full-time job is director. So what's his excuse? Like this is like if you really think about it, this is more his weekend gig more than anything. It's like this isn't even like his main focus.
Now it's becoming his main gig.
Yeah, I guess so because he's like retiring from like fashion industry or something like that. I don't remember. I think I said her.
I think he sold his company or something.
Gotcha. I mean, when you're just one
Yeah.
of the richest men in the world, it'd be like, well, time to make movies now. So
Yeah, he's a billionaire after selling his company.
Mhm.
So
so
yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's what happens, you know. So yeah. Anyway, want to get into questions or?
Yeah, we can.
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't forget about questions, so I'm just gonna read out these that I wrote down myself.
Oh, okay, cool.
So first question from me is what's your favorite movie that's also a box office bomb?
I mean, there are plenty of those. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what does that constitute?
Like it didn't make its money back or
Some
something.
sort of- yeah, it didn't make its money
Life
back, or
Aquatic.
was just
Under
Life Aquatic, yeah.
Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah. Blade Runner 2049, probably for me.
Oh yeah, that
true.
too. I would just need like a long list of all the films that are box office. But hold on, I gotta like Google this for a second. Yeah. So.
I think The Master was a box office bomb. It's a great film.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah, I'm not sure because like I like all my favorite films are indie films, but like, how do you even count those as like box office shits?
45 great
like-
films that failed at the box office. Okay. I like how the first thing on this IndieWire article is Babylon. It's like, okay. So
Babylon's a good one. That's a good pick
Yeah.
for that actually. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like
Fablemans. I don't think that's like the best movie ever, but you know. Let's see.
Yeah, Life Aquatic is like like if I look at like my favorite movies, like that's like the only one I can picture like where I can picture a story of like how like what happened with it and like how like it
yeah.
was Wes's most expensive film and no one saw it and like it
Oh yeah,
bombed,
the
like,
Life Aquatic. Yeah, it's kind of like how the
Yeah.
Coens made their most expensive film was like Hudsucker Proxy, I think it was called. And that kind of bombed.
Oh yeah, that film.
Yeah, so
bombed.
I was gonna say The Big Lebowski, but I still haven't seen The Big Lebowski yet, so I can't really like comment on that. So yeah, one of you recommend it so I can finally have an excuse. You know?
Well.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Oh, Shawshank. Yeah, Shawshank was kind of a bomb. Yeah, but I love Shawshank.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
The Thing was like a massive box office bomb.
Which sucks
wow.
It was
because
also
the thing.
like critically like panned as well when it was released.
Yeah, critics didn't know what the fuck they were talking about with that film. Like Jesus. Yeah, The Thing is amazing.
In the 80s sucked.
I guess Blowout was a bomb. I didn't know that. I didn't like love Blowout, but I understand why people love it. So,
Still haven't seen it.
Did the Lego movie do well, or was that a bomb?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
The Lego movie did ridiculously well.
I wonder if there's like a really good animated movie that like just didn't do well at the box office.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Those Leica films never really do well.
Like I guess so. Like I guess I just associate like box office and like bombs and shit like that with like really big movies, and like none of my absolute favorite movies are like insanely big movies like that. So,
yeah. So
yeah.
like
Me and
apparently
Timmy have a bit more like film bro taste. So
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like I mean, I haven't seen Fight Club, but
Was
apparently
The Shining
Fight Club
a
was a
bomb?
The
Is there
Shining.
any
I haven't seen Fight
Kubricks?
Club.
I haven't seen Fight Club. That's like one of the few David
The
Fincher
Shi-
films I still haven't seen. Yeah, and for
Shining was
somehow,
successful.
yeah, The Shining was successful. That's kind of like Stanley Kubrick's goal with that film.
Naturally,
It's
but,
like
like, it
yeah,
wasn't-
because
Wasn't well done critically.
oh yeah, I think
That's
like
tough.
both Kubrick and Shelley Duvall got like Razzie
Kubrick got a
nominations or something.
worst director
Yeah,
nomination.
and I was like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. So, but that's why he made The
Wow.
Shining, because it's like apparently Barry Lyndon was like a huge bomb, which I guess you could also say that as like one of your things as well.
Yeah. that's a good one.
But like he made The Shining because like Barry Lyndon bombed, where it's like, okay, I gotta make the most
I'll be right
financially
back, guys.
successful. Yeah, I gotta make the most financially successful film of my career, but also have it be like artistically fulfilling. So that's why he made The Shining. So, oh, Children of Men is a bomb. I thought it did. Yeah, I guess that's fair. So,
The film Ad Astra which I
Yeah.
consider to be very, very underrated.
Okay.
I love that film.
I've seen
That
bits
was a
of it. I've
bomb.
never seen the whole thing. Yeah. So
Oh, it's great.
apparently Donnie
Charlie
Darko was a
Kaufman
bomb.
did some writing on it.
Oh, which one? Ad Astra?
Yeah.
Well, fuck. They should have just sold that then. Then I would have gone to see it. So, yeah.
Yeah, uncredited though.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're right. The Master was a bomb. Yeah. The Last Duel,
so.
the Ridley Scott film, the movie that
That's actually a
apparently,
good film.
yeah, the movie that apparently bombed because millennials like their phone more. Or something. I don't even know what the fuck Ridley was talking about at that moment.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, apparently Hugo's a bomb, but I wasn't like huge on Hugo.
I like Hugo.
Yeah, the James Gunn's Suicide Squad was kind of a bomb. Yeah, but I like that movie.
Yeah, but it did ridiculously well on HBO though.
Yeah, to be fair, like that was just that. Yeah, that's just Warner Brothers' faults because they chose to do the shitty same day as HBO Max release. Like that's their fault. Like that had nothing to do with James Gunn. So,
Oh, you guys talking about Suicide Squad?
yeah. So which I want us to talk about one of James Gunn's earlier films at some point on the podcast. I think that would make a fun discussion. So
I'd be up for it. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, baby. Yeah. So, yeah, Mulholland Drive is on this a bunch of lists, but I still haven't seen Mulholland Drive. So I haven't seen any Lynch film after Blue Velvet. I've seen Blue Velvet, I've seen Eraserhead, and I've seen Dune. I haven't seen any other film from him. So,
God.
yeah. So, yeah,
I'm
I'm very.
This is my podcast mission now to make sure you see all of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's also why I wanted this podcast to happen, so I'm forced to watch shit I should watch, but I just don't have the time for. So, so I can waste my time on things that do matter, like watching bad movies at Tribeca.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess we answered that question pretty well, so, yeah.
Yep. I did another one, which was... who is your favorite director who only makes films, or who makes films with like huge gaps between them? So directors who have like
Tom Ford, yeah. So, so
Alfonso Cuarón.
I feel like you just made this question just so you could say Jonathan Glazer.
Well, yeah, that's true. I was gonna say Terrence Malick, but
oh yeah,
he has the record. He did 20 years without a film.
Oh yeah, because like he made Badlands and then he made nothing else until Thin Red Line, right? Or
yeah, he had a gap of like.
How did he live for that long?
Yeah, I was gonna say like how is he able to financially support himself without making movies? You know, like
I think he wrote plays in Paris. Sold them.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like how do you fuck off for 20 years like and still remain financially like afloat? I don't know how that works, but yeah, I guess I kind of
literally.
Yeah,
he's a weird guy. He's like he's like off the grid basically. He never does interviews. There's hardly any pictures of him on the internet. He's a strange guy.
Yeah, I still have yet to see a single Terrence Malick film, but I gotta get on that at some point. So.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean Badlands and Thin Red Line. That's on my like list of things to watch for sure. Yeah,
Tree of Life is his best one.
Is that the one? Oh, I always confuse that with Sea of Trees or something. The Gus Van Sant film, I think it was called. Yeah, so, yeah.
Tree of Life, 2011.
Mm-hmm. And then he made that weird live-action remake of Pocahontas, I think. I'm being facetious about the live-action part. I just know it's a real thing. What I think called with Colin Farrell? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so...
Something like that. I haven't seen it.
So, yeah.
I don't know if he counts, but Spike Jonze.
Yeah, that counts. I would say that counts because like he hasn't made a film since Her, unless you count any of the Jackass films. Yeah.
I know, but like if Her is his last movie that he will ever make. Well, I guess he's made documentaries and shit, so yeah.
Made the one documentary. I think I read he's working on something.
Yeah,
for
he
Netflix,
apparently
like a series.
Yeah, apparently he's making what's apparently the most expensive Netflix series. Which, I mean, either way, I'm gonna go see it.
You better make it good.
Yeah,
then.
I'm gonna go see it no matter what. Like, because Spike Jonze is legitimately one of my favorite directors.
What do you mean go see it? It's in your
I mean,
home.
you
It's
know what I
Netflix.
mean. Yeah. So, um, yeah, like Spike Jonze is like one of my favorite directors, and he's only made 4 movies. Like, he's made 2 10 out of 10s, and one of them is my second favorite film of all time. I mean, to be fair, Charlie Kaufman is also a huge like contribution to that too, but it's like Spike Jonze is also important, and being John Malkovich, another great one, and then like even though I didn't love Where the Wild Things Are, I think that was still better than like most things I've seen in general. So, yeah.
Film that
Yeah.
in Melbourne.
Oh, it filmed in Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So,
Oh, nice.
what constitute as like a huge time gap? Like, obviously, not everyone has had a
Yeah,
fucking.
that's what I'm like trying to think of.
Not everyone has had like
Say
a
at
massive.
least like 5 years between films. 5-6 years.
5 years. Could that be applied to Shane Black? What was the time gap between?
I guess.
I mean, my answer isn't Shane Black. I love Shane Black, but I don't think he's made like the most amazing movies in the world. So, but I do want us to talk about
Land of the Nice Guys.
yeah,
Nice Guys
I
is
no.
amazing.
I'm not slandering. I love the Nice Guys. I want us to talk about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and the Nice Guys at some point. I think they would make great double features.
Please, I'd love to watch the Nice Guys again.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was 2005 and Iron Man 3 was 2013. Yeah, that's a pretty lengthy gap. Yeah,
No, you're forgetting the Predator.
that was after.
Oh god.
That was after the
Yeah.
Nice Guys. Yeah, which was 2016. So,
Now Buana, Isaac, Jeffrey.
oh
Godfrey.
yes,
yes.
yeah, the Who Killed Captain Alex guy.
He's working on. He's cooking something up. Same with Neil Breen.
Yeah.
He follows me on Twitter.
Follows me on Twitter as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I don't know why, but like,
Shit.
fuck yeah.
Now I gotta follow him on Twitter.
He just
so
follows. If you follow him, he'll follow you back to me.
That-
so
Yeah.
That's
you really
probably
want to be followed.
Or if you comment on like any one of his posts, he'll just follow you.
Yep.
Like,
what a fucking G. Jesus Christ. Yeah,
he's so cool. I love him.
I've seen clips
love
of Captain Who Killed
him.
Captain
He's
Alex.
awesome.
Yeah, I've seen clips of Who Killed Captain Alex, and I was like, goddamn, I want to see the whole thing. I gotta see the whole thing.
I watched
the whole
all
thing
of
in
or
full?
most of his movies.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a Bat Black and what was the other one? Crazy World, I think it was called.
Crazy World.
Yeah. So. Mm-hmm.
Seen all of them. They are masterpieces.
I've seen Ebola Hunter. I've seen all that shit. It's awesome. love it.
I genuinely want Hollywood to give him like 100, like some fucking absurd Flash level budget to just make whatever the fuck he wants. I just want that to happen.
I want him to team up with the director of RRR to make something.
Oh my goodness.
You joke, but I think they might make like a fucking masterpiece in the process. So.
It would. They'd make like the most bonkers film you'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I'm trying to think of more gaps.
Yeah, I think we've got a good few down though. Like
David Fincher had like a massive gap between Gone Girl and Mank.
Yeah, he's had pretty
I
big.
guess so.
He's had pretty lengthy.
What is Park Chan? Oh no, I
No,
guess,
Park Chan
yeah.
Wook consistently
Yeah, he's
churns out
pretty
shit.
consistent.
Yeah, so I was gonna mention like fucking what's his face? I guess does Tarantino count? Because Tarantino doesn't count because like he still churns out films consistently.
Nicholas Winding Refn hasn't made a film in quite a few years since like The Neon Demon.
He made a show that came out like
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he made
Yeah.
2 shows. I think
It's
he made one with
technically still active, but movies.
yeah.
He hasn't made a film in a long time.
Mhm. He made the show with Kilometers Teller. What's it called? Too Old to Die Young. Yeah, that was it. So, which
oh yeah.
I saw like the first 2
Yeah,
episodes of.
Copenhagen Cowboy.
Yeah, I saw the first 2 episodes of that
Hideo
show.
Kojima in it.
Yeah, and I was so bored. I was like, I'm not gonna watch this anymore. So, I haven't seen Copenhagen Cowboy. I don't know. I don't remember much. I didn't hear much about it, but I'll check it out. So, trying to think. Pretty much
James Cameron.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, like, what was the last film he made before Avatar 2? Avatar, and that came out 2009.
Avatar.
Yeah, so yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
The last film we made before that was Titanic.
which was like what in like the early 90s or something like that.
1997.
No, it was Aliens of the Deep.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Come on, Jules.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, 1997 to 2009. That's 12 years. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, like even like things that like realistically.
Rich as hell. He forfeited his profits on Titanic just to try and convince the studio. So he really must have been hoping that they were successful so he could go on that giant break.
I mean, I get how you can make Avatar live for like 20 fucking years, but I don't get how you can make like something random like Terrence Malick and then live for 20 years.
Yeah, like James Cameron makes sense
Yeah.
because his films like make a shit ton of money. Like no one goes out to see Terrence Malick movies. Like let's be real about
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think the Tree of Life is not the Tree of Life. The Thin Red Line is his most successful film.
Yeah, because that's also like a
So
war.
he was really cooking up to make a box office success for like 20 years.
Yeah, it was like 20 years
Yeah.
in the making. Yeah, so yeah, yeah. Didn't they announce that like
That's crazy.
Didn't
Though.
they-
That's almost as long as Luca has been
Yeah.
alive, pretty much. That he was not active.
It's literally the
Yeah,
same length.
that's literally the
Like-
same length. 20 years. Gee.
So for all your life, Luca, there was a period where he wasn't
Mhm.
active,
Yeah.
Yep.
just doing
So-
nothing.
I mean, didn't they announce like all of his Avatar movies are being pushed back by like a year or two or something like that? Like,
2031.
That fucking
yeah, I'm probably
sucks.
gonna have
Like,
like a
what the
family
fuck?
by the time the last Avatar movie comes out. Yeah, so-
Maybe you'll like them more because you'll be in a family and the movies are
Oh.
about
You'll be, like,
family.
Closer to 30 when the final one
yeah,
comes
I'm gonna be
out.
31 when the fifth Avatar film comes out. Yeah.
That's insane. I'm not gonna give a fuck about Avatar then. Like, what the hell? I was
Really?
expecting the next Avatar like next year, and I have to wait like a whole.
Wait,
nother
what's the
year,
release
like,
date for
bruh.
the third Avatar movie? Did it say 2025 or something?
2025?
Okay, but they announced it.
2025.
But they said it was 2024, right? Or
Yeah,
wait,
exactly.
but wait, didn't they say like he was almost done with Avatar 3 anyway? Because he was making that one and the second one side by
Well,
side, right?
no,
Or-
Apparently
yeah.
not.
yeah, I don't
I think he
know.
just got too overconfident.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, let's be real about this. Like, he's probably gonna push the release date by like 6 or 7 more times because, like, wasn't the original release date for Avatar 2 like 2018 or
Oh, yeah,
whatever?
the original release date for Avatar 2 was like 2014.
Yeah,
Oh
and then he
my
said
God.
"fuck you." So, and then he pushed it back another 7 years. So, remember when this was like a meme too? Like everyone was just like making fun about the fact that like why are there like 5 Avatar movies? And,
You think
yeah,
we're ever gonna get a sequel to Avatar?
no one cares about Avatar, you know? It's like, you know, and let's be real, we're probably going to have another conversation about this again like in preparation for Avatar 3. So, yeah. But
Yeah, how am I gonna make my fucking I watched all the Avatar movies in one day video when the
In one
fucking
day,
fifth
yeah.
one
Yeah.
is coming out in fucking 2030? Like, bruh.
yeah, like you're going to be like
31.
we're all gonna be like full grown adults, and I mean we're all already full grown adults, and maybe not Jules, but we're already gonna be like already full grown adults.
I am
but
not
like
a full-grown adult. I am certainly not. Maybe technically speaking, I am, but mentally, definitely not.
yeah, well, okay, in
Grow
that
up.
sense, because I also don't think I'm mentally a full grown adult either. But it's like we're gonna get to that point where it's like we're gonna have
Yeah, you're an
lives.
anime fan.
Oh, yeah, you're really gonna throw that in my face, huh? So I can't wait. Like, speaking of families, I can't wait to show, if I have kids or whatever, show all my kids the most disgusting weeb trash ever and just have them think like me. I'm sure they're gonna end up pretty well off with their lives. So, yeah. So, anyway, what was we talking?
Jimmy, so here's some hentai. I'm joking.
Yeah. They'll figure all that out with or without my help. I figured all that stuff out by myself, you know, and like, you know, whatever. So,
Oh,
yeah,
Okay.
it's been so long since I've
How many more questions do you have?
Yeah,
Jules?
any more questions or yeah?
that's pretty much it.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Well, I guess it's
Yeah.
It's your
Luca's
turn,
turn.
right,
Yeah.
Luca?
So,
Okay. So you guys, I need to step in here. Okay.
okay.
You guys have only been recommending some like half-assed like gay movies, like
What the hell?
they've been pretty reserved, They haven't been super overtly gay.
I
And
have an
here-
idea of what you're gonna
I
recommend.
disagree. I think mine was pretty gay.
Mine was pretty
It's
gay,
gay,
too.
but,
Like they were openly gay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, like they're not
Yours
like
wasn't really that
in
gay.
your face about it. They're not huge. They're not big.
Can
They're
I-
not
Okay.
flamboyant.
I was gonna say, can
okay?
I think I know what you're gonna can I predict what you're gonna recommend, or
You can predict what
is
it
it
is.
fucking what's it called, Hedwig and the Angry Itch or something, whatever it's called?
It is not that movie.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw
Oh,
one
oh
out
my
for
God.
Jules. Because the movie
Oh,
I'm
wait.
recommending is The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were about to say call me by your name.
My
You got me so excited.
my second guess was like Pink Flamingos or something like that. Yeah. So
No.
Oh.
Priscilla,
Priscilla.
watched the movie the other day and I really loved it.
what is it called? The
so I
Adventures
thought-
of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. You said that was it, right? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
I have never seen. I think I
I've
might have.
never heard of
Yeah,
this
I've
at
never
all.
heard of this
What?
film before.
Have you not
yeah.
heard of it, Jules? It's an Australian movie.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Wait,
Jules,
now
you're
you're
gonna love
fucked,
it.
yeah, so-
Jules, you're gonna love it.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, hang on.
What?
Oh, I know what this is. Yeah, I got this confused with another thing.
Okay, I've
Yeah,
never,
I
I've
see.
never seen
I,
this. I've
well, I
never.
haven't seen this, but I know of it.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this. So yeah, this is going to be a new, fresh experience for me.
Yeah, ton of fun movie.
Oh, Hugo
Um,
Weaving is in this. Yeah, Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce. Wow, what a stacked cast. Jesus.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's just a fun little time. Fun movie.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting. Yeah, well, cool. Yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled, then I guess for The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, directed by Stephen Elliott. Yeah, 1994. Watch it because we're gonna spoil it. So all that
Yep.
shit. So
Yep-de-doo.
yeah, I'll try to get the last episode out as quickly as I can. And then I'll churn this out this one before the next one. So
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to.
we'll have to. Yeah.
Grind like to get one out like a week early, just because there's so much new shit coming out and we're like kind of behind. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can take
Yeah.
over one of the. You know what? It's fine. I'll do it by myself. It's fine. I'll take care
Yeah,
of it.
I'm
yeah.
pretty busy, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, so-
but yes,
Anyway, well, that's it.
that's been this episode, everyone.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye bye. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.